trust the open and what's inside. When the moon is high, it's time to fly. Open your mind, let it all unwind. Let's get disengaged, time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged. When you feel like you've had enough, and the week was busy and tough, you need a break, you need some fun. You need to take time from the run. We'll blow your mind, we're just in time. Seek and ye shall find. Time to unwind, let's get disenraged. Time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged. Aliens, ghosts, spirits and shadows, spirituality, ultra reality, the Bible, the pagans, all the conspiracies, tarot, astrology, and alternate history. Open your heart to other possibilities and get disenraged. Time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged, 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 disenraged.
What up, Jennifer? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Karlyn. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, it's funny because I did a podcast interview today with this lady that has kind of an eclectic background, in that she's done the Christian fundamentalist stuff. She's done the woo stuff. She was a Democrat. She became a conservative. She's been like all over the place, and she kind of like she might even be tuning into the show right now. And she reminded me on the show. It's like I don't think people who don't dabble in the world of woo understand this, but there are a lot of effing people who believe the things that we believe.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like I get trapped in this world where I'm around so many Christians just because of like the politics stuff, and that's just, I guess, the way it goes. Woo people want to stay away from politics apparently, and it's like the Christians or people that have never really been in like the spirituality circles, I guess, for lack of a better term, they don't understand how many people do this stuff, how many people watch this stuff, how many people believe this stuff. They really think it's just a band of crazies off dancing in a circle in the middle of the woods. And there may be crazies dancing in a circle in the middle of the woods naked, usually around a fire of some sort. But there are a ton of people who believe this stuff. There are massive podcasts that dwarf the Joe Rogan podcast of people who believe this stuff. And it's just so funny that I happen to be isolated into a world where I guess I'm not isolated. I can expand outside of it anytime I want. But like where that is just like there is no awareness that there is another world, and it's like right over here, and like you can go to that world. You can just walk right over there and go.
Yeah, and it's not dangerous. It's very peaceful usually. And I find that most spiritualists are more accepting of Christians than the other way around. Mostly because like I always put my husband's earrings on when we stream. I forgot to do that, so I gotta do that. Anyway, so I think that because a lot of us grew up Christian and we've seen that side, and we're just like that, you know, unless we've had a really bad experience, usually it's just not for me. I'm just gonna peace out. But we still have love. We know they're on their path, and that's because spirituality teaches largely that the path is important for the person.
Yeah.
There's no wrong or right answer, and a lot of monotheistic religions teach that there is a right and wrong answer, and there's
Yep.
sinners and saints, and there's heaven and hell, and it's a very duality, and you're one or the other.
Yep.
But what's funny, and I don't think a lot of Christians, and you're talking about how like they seem like they're this big thing, and they're really not, because they're what, the third most popular religion. There's more pagans in the world than there are Christians.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah,
know,
not even close.
pagans,
Yeah.
including anything that's not monotheistic, Hinduism, Buddhism, all of that is all very different. There's more of them. They're in the majority than if you go Jewish and Muslim and Islam and all of that. Now they're way down. They're way down here now.
Mhm. No, it's true. And I do agree that, like, I think spiritualists are more accepting of Christians than Christians are of spiritualists. And I think, like,
Yeah.
I used to actually have this discussion with the Groypers every once in a while. We would do Twitter spaces, and they like to say that I'm like a witch. And I'm like, I'm really not a witch. And then they want to damn me to hell for using tarot cards to do divination. And I'm like, well, that's not really what's going on. It's just reading
Okay.
the energy as it's not like really reading the future. It's reading the energy as it is right now. What do you have to say to that?
I'm like, pick me. I have a perfect
Yeah.
rebuttal for that.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been there. How many times have they, and I know many Christians who have done this, close their eyes and say, God guide me, and they just open the Bible and go tink, and they put their finger on a scripture, and they're like, Spirit guided me to this scripture.
Yeah.
This is my lesson for the day. I have to meditate on this today. Same.
It's
thing.
literally the same thing. It's the same effing thing.
The only difference is that the person who created the tarot cards didn't tell you that it's coming from God. That's the only difference.
No, I agree with that. But I also, like, they became very confused because they were like, don't you want to convince us to believe what you believe? And I was like, no.
We don't process.
Not in any way. I don't care if you believe what you believe. I don't care if you believe what I believe. I don't care if you believe some separate thing or you just make up your own path. Like, your path is your path. It is not my path. If you are meant to be around this belief system, you will be. There is like, this is like one thing I've learned throughout my life. It's like, you will get pulled into this if you're supposed to be. Like, it's just like, there have been too many coincidences in my life that have led me into doing spiritual related things, whether it be working with a specific person or going on a specific retreat that I never intended to go on or anything like that. It's just like, if you're meant to do this, you're going to do it. And really, it's like, I suppose you could resist and not do it, but it's going to be easier just to do it.
Yeah. I mean, well, your path is going to be made clear, because to me, it's all the same energy: prayer, meditation, deity, God, divine. It's all, the path is the path. It's going to happen for you one way or the other. Somebody might go, I was studying Buddhism, but then I decided to convert to Islam. I mean, whatever agrees with their energy vibe is what's going to bring them over. And there's people who change religions and shit all the time that they're just searching. And I think it's kind of like going to college. Like, you can take a math class, a science class, and an English class, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a mathematician, a writer, or a scientist. You're just learning different things.
Yeah, you might get a PhD in psychology and then end up talking about socialism on the internet for the rest of your life. Like, you just don't know. You just don't know what you're gonna. You have no idea. Yeah. Nick says, "I'm cool with the woo. What rock on, ladies? Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that."
Yeah.
Well, I had a different plan for tonight when I was thinking about this earlier today, because as you know, I plan all of my episodes days in advance. I spend a whole day, a week ahead of time, planning things out and doing a very thorough amount of
research for hours.
Hours and hours and hours.
Perfect thing. I know.
I preview everything to make sure it's going to be good. I don't do anything at the last minute at all, ever.
You are the example by which I row my boat, Karlyn.
So, okay. I did actually, fuck this. I did actually have a different plan earlier in the day, though. In real life, I did actually start planning for this hours earlier than I normally would have, which is after my 5 p.m. I started planning for this at like 3 p.m. Jennifer. I feel like I need credit for this. I started planning 4 hours early than I normally would start planning. Thus giving me a couple more hours to think things through. And so I originally was going to do, have you ever heard of Sheila Gillette and Theo?
I want to say that sounds familiar, but I don't know. I don't
So
know.
Sheila Gillette is like an older lady, and she channels this group of 12 archangel energies called Theo. And she was actually one of the first. She used to work with Abraham Hicks,
Okay.
and so she was
That
actually one
might
of the
be why I recognize the name.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she had a show on Gaia for a little while, literally called Channeling Theo, I think. And I
Okay.
actually used to be like, I didn't do any of the expensive retreats with them, but I was in like their monthly membership thing where they had a call and you could ask Theo questions and stuff like that. And it was actually really cool. And it was actually my first kind of like channeling person that I kind of connected with. And just like, I was like, holy shit, this is actually real, because she goes into a very specific vibe when she's channeling and all that. So I was kind of like, people were asking me, they were like, Karlyn, what about angels? Like you talk about how you like angel meditations. Can we do something about angels? And I was like, well, Theo's an archangel, so maybe we'll do something about that. But then I couldn't really find anything that I was like really excited about with her. And I think it's because she's getting a little bit older. I would love to see some of her like earlier channeling videos where now it's kind of like she's channeling for like a couple minutes at a time. And it's just like you don't get a lot from it, because I'm sure it's like energy consuming after a while, and especially probably as you get older, you're just like she's been channeling Theo for almost 50 years. Like
Wow.
It's been a long ass time. And so I was looking her up and I was like, well, I don't know if this is going to work out for tonight, but what about that cool guy that we watched a couple weeks ago that we both really liked? And then I went to Daniel's YouTube channel and I was like, he's actually got a ton of stuff. But I do
like this in every picture. I'm so happy right now. Yay!
Oh, I know. I thought you would. I just had a feeling as soon as I saw this, I was like, you know what, this is going to be fun. So I did want to say, like, I do recommend if people are interested in channeling, look up the Theo stuff and like on your own. Maybe we can do another episode about it another time when I, maybe take more than a couple hours to research something. But like, I do recommend people look into Theo. But I was like, Daniel just drew me in tonight. I loved him when we saw him on the show a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I had never heard of him before. I love the sounds that he makes and just the tones and everything. And you hear multiple layers of it. And I just think he's like a really interesting kind of like person. And it turns out that he doesn't just channel like the Palladians. Like we saw him in reference to the Palladians. He's channeling all these different groups, like all sorts of different stuff. And so I picked out 4 videos that I thought would be kind of like general interest stuff. And I think they're about like 15 to 20 minutes long each. So they're like a manageable length. And so I thought that they'd be kind of like general interest to people, or in some cases specifically interesting maybe to like you and I. And then if we feel like, he's got so much stuff on his YouTube channel. Like all the stuff I picked out is like relatively recent in the last 6 months, I think. But he has just a ton of stuff, and he has a lot of stuff on his website too. And actually what I like about his website is he has just all these different activations and meditations, like probably hundreds and hundreds of them. And he has it set up so you can choose your own price, where he sets like a minimum, and then you can choose to give him more money if you want to. But he's actually got some really good deals on his website where he's got these like massive bundles of like activations and things where you can get like 30 of these things for like $30 or something like that.
Pre-recorded activations that you can have access to.
Exactly. And so I was like, man, I want to check that out at some point, because it's actually like really affordable to download some of his stuff. And I always do like, if I'm gonna like I don't mind paying for stuff like this, because this is stuff that's coming from him. Like, it's a value exchange sort of thing.
He's working. It's not like pay me and I'm going to tell you a bunch of bullshit because I can. It's like, how do you make $1,000 in a day, Karlyn? Do you know?
You either get someone to give you $1,000 or you get 1,000 people to give you $1 or somewhere in between.
$1 and I'll tell you. Yeah. That's the old joke. So no, this is his job. People not long ago thought it was insane that people would be making money doing what you do.
Oh yeah.
On YouTube. Like here I am on a podcast or whatever they're calling it. And I don't know what it's the show, and it's like nobody thought that was possible. It's like, no, you have to be a radio celebrity, or you have to be on the news, or you have to have a TV talk show. Nobody thought that just your everyday average person could be making money this way. And now this is also a job.
Yeah. you're putting your energy into it, you're putting your time into it, you're providing something that could be extremely valuable to another
Oh
person.
yeah.
I've never
Totally.
had a problem paying people to do this stuff, like buying their meditations or taking their classes. And I think, like, honestly, like some of the best like spiritual experiences I've had have been taking some random person's class like online, and you
Oh
just don't
yeah.
know. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm called to sign up for something that even I'm like, this is really effing weird, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I was going through some some Reiki videos because I just kind of, it had been a long stretch of time since I had looked up what's out in the Reiki world, because back in when everything first kind of fired up, some of the Reiki videos were pretty campy, and just they just looked out, woohoo, yay,
Yeah.
energy, and I'm like, so I'm like, let's see what's out there, and I pulled up a couple of gals, and there's people who do like Reiki healing sessions to the camera as if they're doing it directly to you.
Oh, wow, really? Does that
And
work?
anything works if you let it.
Well, true.
So as a Reiki master, I put myself in the place to receive, because at first I'm like, I don't know about this. Seems a little silly, but then I was like, oh no, I love it. I got very activated, and just like all of a sudden I just allowed it. I'm like, because I'm sitting there struggling with my little logical Capricorn brain going, when did she record this? And is that like the energy's really going through the camera to me? And then I thought, wait a minute. And you're going to just don't jump on me yet. Just let me finish before you start jumping up and down about time not being real. But when you send Reiki through, you can send it through time and space. And it doesn't matter when you send it, it will arrive when it is intended to be received.
So ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So I can send energy to somebody in the future, and they'll get it right when they need it. I can send it to them in the past, and they'll get it. Because I had someone was sending me a video message, and they were like, I can just feel you sending me love right now. And I know you haven't even seen this yet, but I know I can feel that. And I was already doing that because she was talking about the struggle she was going through. And so I was already sending love. And right as I was kind of closing that little mental meditation of sending love to her, she said, I can feel you sending me love. And this was like 30 minutes ago that she had sent me the message. So its energy does not conform to time. And I totally do believe that. And so, yes, the Reiki healing session from this lady's love, and there were several of them that I found. There were a couple that made me a little squirmy, that I wasn't vibing with them, but there were a couple that I felt so, I let them do it. I was like, okay, let's go. I haven't had this in so long. Let's do it. And it was just wonderful.
Well, and it's like, I would think it'd be akin to like any sort of guided meditation or things like that. Especially like I've actually done a ton of angel meditations, and they're all about like the angel is healing you and the crystals are on you and all this like woo woo stuff and all this. But it's real, and you do actually feel it when it's happening. And it's like, well, this was recorded, years ago, but it's still something that I'm feeling now because I'm visualizing it. I'm putting myself in the headspace for it and all that. I can't imagine it'd be much different than that, right?
No, yeah, it's energetic self-care, and sometimes you need a master or a facilitator to remind you to activate those energy centers, to have that healing energy, to do it for yourself, to put you in alignment with it.
Well, speaking of time, let's see if our new best friend Daniel has anything about time on his channel. This is how you stretch and bend time. Hello, Daniel.
Oh, God.
Hello.
Look, I
how
have puppies.
time
Yay, puppies. Oh, so
how
glad
time
to
works
be
in
here.
how time works in your favor.
Hi, baby.
Oh,
I'm
dog.
going to be go
Dog cam.
Doggy booty. They're running around outside, and like every few minutes they come in and they say hi to me. So they run around and play, and then they run inside and they check in with mama. They both put their noses on me.
Wait, score, Jennifer.
Time does not exist. Channeling the create.
12 years ago, Daniel created a video called Time Does Not Exist. And you know what happened, Jennifer? It arrived to us at exactly the right moment.
You're fucking lucky. I have a good sense of humor.
I win. Time is not real. We have to watch that first.
Oh.
We have to watch that first. We're gonna preempt this one. Okay, but let me show you the. We're watching we're starting the stream off on the Time Is Not Real video. Jennifer, you know what this is? This is like ripping the Band-Aid off. Are you gonna? Do you want to do it at the end, or do you want to do it? Do you want to do it at the end and anticipate that we're gonna be watching?
No, I want to get this over with now so I can enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
It's not my fault. Daniel did a video 12 years ago says time does not exist.
Hey, you don't know. He might start out by saying it doesn't exist, but on this plane, we need it to move forward and grow.
Well, maybe
to mark growth, and because you know what I think? I think it's both. I think all of it is right. I think time is real and not real at the same time, and I'm gonna maintain that because I trust myself.
All right. Well, I'm still maintaining my position that time is not real. But before we watch this video that we have been blessed with at the last possible moment, I don't know why I didn't think to look for this earlier in the day. I could have had it all ready to go as like a surprise grand finale that you didn't even know. But let me show you the other videos that I picked out. And if people have opinions or want a different subject, Daniel apparently has 8,000 videos. So we can probably find something. So the first thing I have is people were asking me about angels. And so I found one called Looking to the Archangels, Angels and Us. And so I thought that would be
Gary Sinise in that picture.
He looks very much like, you're right about, I was trying to figure out who he looked like. You're right. It is Gary Sinise, which is not like a bad thing. Gary Sinise is a handsome man.
He is.
I thought this one seemed interesting. The summary of the teachings of the Ascended Masters.
Ooh.
I'm like, how can you summarize that in 16 minutes, Daniel? But I guess we'll see. And then this is for you, Jennifer. Do you need religious rules to make the right choices? I thought you would appreciate that.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah.
And then I decided to have a grand finale because, you know, Jennifer, I have never gotten in trouble on the internet for saying that we choose our challenges in life prior to birth. Like, I have never gotten canceled on the internet resoundingly for saying the Jews chose to die in the Holocaust.
Oh my God. I've had similar conversations with pagans and we all agree. We're like, it's called group karma, and it's nothing against anybody. It's like, it sucks. It's, if you don't believe in that stuff, it sounds like a really awful thing to say. Yeah. So I understand why people get upset.
But I wanted them to get upset. I just didn't anticipate the degree to which they would get upset. Okay. And most of it I don't even think was really real to begin with. They were just feigning being upset for virtue points on the internet. But yeah, so we're gonna end it with our like, do you actually choose all your challenges prior to birth? And we're gonna see what Spirit has to say. And if you guys have issue with it or want to write a hit piece on me in Newsweek again, then you can take it up with Spirit. Okay.
Seriously, I'm wondering if Thymus, the collective of Ascended Masters, is who he's speaking with.
I would think so.
That makes sense. It's not the Pleiadian High Council or Pleiadian High Council or anything. It's looks like it's a specific, like, seems like there's lots of different collectives that have a name.
Yeah. So and he's got, like, even if you go back to his channel, you can go back to his videos page, he is channeling a bunch of different stuff. So I guess, like, it's just a coincidence that I happened to pick one. Maybe that was who he was channeling, like, at that time when I, picked it. But I think he's did a whole thing about Saint Germain. So he's channeled him quite a bit.
There's Saint Germain. I think of the liqueur because it's like one of my favorite things on the planet.
He's got the Arcturian Council.
Oh, neato.
Yeah. He's got, so I think those seem to be the main ones that he's channeling right now. But you can see he's got just a ton of shit. I don't know who the creators are. Maybe we can, like, figure that out. But
no, I think the Arcturians went through a major galactic battle before there was any society or people here. Like, there was an ancient galactic battle. It's like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away kind of stuff. Now, I could be wrong, but they used to be like a warring species. But I think, and I think the Lyrans went through something similar. It might have been the Lyrans and the Arcturians. It's been a while since I've read about it.
You haven't studied ancient spiritual stuff in a while?
I've been a little distracted by my current spiritual life and my current physical existence. It's
books and dogs and other things that, real world.
definitely being edged, by politics.
Being edged by. Do you guys know that Jennifer told me before we went live that she was being edged by Tim Pool and Sargon, and I was like, Jennifer, really? Really?
The way you said that is not how I said it, but it sounds funnier with the way you said it.
She did. She was like, they're getting so close, Carl, and they get so close, and then it's just like, and they ruin everything. And then
I gotta go take care of myself.
Yeah, and then they roll over and they go to sleep, and they leave us disappointed again because they're so fucking close to finding the clip. They're so close.
They're so close. It's right there.
And we tried to guide them, and they're doing their best.
Go a little left, no too far left. Go a little right, no too far right. Stop, just quit wiggling around so much. Just...
Now, this is a horrible analogy to make about those two. We understand, but
it's a good double entendre, though. I mean, I get points for that right here.
You do. Jennifer came up with that. It wasn't me. She is the erotic fiction writer. So
I am. And I'm thinking of entering a contest on Amazon with my new alien.
Oh yeah,
there's one.
You should. I saw that. I got the announcement for that one as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to enter my Communist Manifesto fairy tale.
But it has to publish after May 1st. Did you publish it after May 1st?
Maybe not. Okay, so I'll do Alice in Queerland then. I haven't published that yet.
There you go. Yeah, it has to be during there. It's like May 1st to August 1st, I think, it's like a 3-month. You have to publish between these 3 months in order to enter it. But what you can do, and I have to look into this, but a friend of mine, one of my other pro gals, was telling me about this, and you can do this for the manifesto, is you can nominate it to be considered by the editors for editor's choice.
Oh, I did hear about that too. Yeah, I should definitely do that.
Yeah, I'm going to do that for Persephone, I think, for my Summer with Persephone book.
Yeah. So we'll do Alice in Queerland as my entry into the official contest then. That'll be fun. I definitely won't get in trouble for that.
No, I can't imagine.
Absolutely not.
Why?
Why would I possibly get in trouble for rewriting Alice in Wonderland as a queer story? Why would I just can't imagine, Jennifer, why that would happen.
You'll get like the one person that works at Amazon that listens to you avidly is like, oh, yay.
Maybe. All right. Well, let's dig into these here videos, and we're gonna start it. We're gonna rip the band-aid off. We're gonna get it over with. We're gonna start with his Time Does Not Exist video, so Jennifer doesn't have to suffer the entire stream. Let's see.
Just give me my pain. I'm such a give me my pain person.
Daniel says this is basically a BDSM relationship. You understand, Jennifer? That's what we're doing right now.
Yes, mistress.
Oh, wait.
May I have another?
Yeah, exactly. You can't hear the sound. I can. Hang on. Fixing the sound. Every week, without fail. Time is not real. I was saying. All right, let's see.
And even when it's not mentioned, you find a way to mention it. It's magical.
It's not my fault, Jennifer. It's not my fault that time is obviously fake and you just won't accept it. You're a fucking Capricorn. There's nothing else I can do except to continue to bring it up every single week ad nauseum for the rest of your life.
Hey, I'm the one with the central node, the north node that points to the center of the galaxy. I'm dialed in, bitch. So I got this. I'm.
Oh, that's right. Opinion. You have that fucking north node bullshit.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, God. Whatever.
I may know something none of you do.
Whatever. No, you do. I know. This is why you're so fucking naturally psychic, and I have to work at it and smoke a lot of weed, and then just. Although I have been extremely psychic lately, I think it's because of that whole Kundalini thing that I accidentally did. And I also replicated the Kundalini thing. So now I know how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm actually dangerous with this. It was an accident the first time. It was not an accident the second time.
Once you learn how to control that burst with intention.
Yeah.
Watch the fuck out. You're going to manifest like a crazy person.
But I know shit, Jennifer. I know things I have no business knowing. Like I've had some dreams that I've actually remembered since then about people in my life where I'm like,
I told you you're going to start remembering your dreams with this.
I was like, I did not know that piece of information about you. And now I do. And I know that I shouldn't do anything with that information because that would be unethical. But I've been shown this information for a reason, Pisces.
I guess I'm going to just start shielding myself. Although I know I have had dreams with you in it. And it's always about, and it's funny because there's other people in the community that I've seen in them as well. And it's always like we're at a retreat and we're all preparing for you, we're getting ready to pamper you, make sure you're okay and all this other stuff. And So I don't know. It's very sweet. I'm picking up on that. Your community really cares about you, and I love that.
Yeah, I know they do, and I probably don't appreciate them enough and all this stuff, but whatever. I don't show my emotions or feelings. It's the way it goes. Anyway, go ahead. What?
I'm not going to say a damn thing about anything about with videos where you cry or any of that. That's never.
I have never cried on the internet. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never had a nervous breakdown on the internet before. That has never happened. I don't know. I may have just spilled water all over my keyboard. That's all right though. It'll be.
Oh no!
It actually feels nice and cool because it's hot as hell in my office. But no,
Yeah,
I have no emotions. I am.
You're stoned.
I'm stone faced and completely unreadable. And definitely, I'm an ice cold bitch, and I would never do that. I'm stoic. Stoic is the exact.
Nice one.
Stoic is exactly the word I would have used. Yeah, that's exactly. Okay, let's listen.
All right. Give me my pain.
Tell her, Daniel.
Oh.
Yes. Okay.
I freaking love that so hard.
I love it.
Yes.
He's tuning in to his channel.
Yeah.
This is his process.
It's his download sound, like how the old days when the internet would make the static sound.
Okay. Yes.
Connectivity.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Love the
yes,
voice.
Yes. We love telling you that there is no such thing as time. Making you short circuit your brain with that one.
Did you hear that?
Short circuit your brain.
We love making you short circuit your brain on that one. I love this. Oh man.
Making you short circuit your brains with that one.
But I already believe that, so it doesn't bother me.
We want you to get out of your minds completely. And so when we tell you something that your minds cannot comprehend, it delights us.
Quiet bot.
It delights us.
You have a concept of time. You have your experience of time.
That's what I'm talking about.
Most of the time, it is because you are thinking. And you are thinking about something that will happen, that you want to happen.
So true.
That might not happen, or that has happened.
Hang on. That is true though. That is true. We only think about time when we're waiting for something to happen, or we're anticipating something's happening, or we're pissed off something hasn't happened yet, and we're like, when the fuck is that thing gonna happen? That's so true. If
we're just thinking about something in the past and we start arguing with ourselves about something that happened, how long ago was that? God, has it really been 12 years? Jesus, stuff like that.
Yeah. But it's like if you're just in the present moment, you're not thinking about time, and that's when time starts to move really fast around you, and you're like, what the fuck? I've been writing for 13 hours. Like, where the fuck what it's dark now. What happened?
Well, did you ever I think I brought this up before it's a Star Trek episode where Data was trying to test the theory that a watch pot never boils.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Geordie LaForge comes in and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to test the theory that a watch pot never boils. I have looked away from this pot 5 times, and every time it boils at exactly 4 minutes, 32 seconds, or whatever the fuck it was. And he's like, why don't you turn off your internal chronometer? And he's like, oh, teak, so he does that. And then he talks to Jordy, and all of a sudden the pot starts to whistle. He had a little teapot. It's like, whoop. He's like, oh, I didn't even notice the time had passed. And so I stick to and thank you, Vince. I will stick to my guns. Thank you. Time is real when you pay attention to it when you need to. But out here in ethereal space, it's meaningless.
Crazy.
To the illusion of time. But in reality, you are not experiencing your reality in a linear way. You are making connections between one event and another.
That's interesting.
That do not really exist. They are separate. Those moments that you experience are unique and exist as if they were islands in a vast ocean of moments/islands. So, how do you use this information to benefit yourselves? When we give you something like this, it is to plant a seed so that you can begin to let go of the idea that one thing leads to another and you are doomed to repeat your history and so on. And that way you can, if you decide to do so, choose which moment you would like to experience next.
I want to see what he's doing.
We want you to believe that this is possible.
All right, that's that video. That was just a short little video, but it said everything I needed it to. It said that they like blowing people's brains when they tell them the time does not exist, and I was like, that's everything I needed. That's everything I needed.
You feel better?
Yep, I do. Yep.
Good.
I feel like I've already won on this episode, Jennifer. I don't need to do anything else. We've already achieved our goals, and now I can just now sit back and enjoy. Jennifer has nothing to say. All right, now we're gonna go into videos where we can actually see him channel, which I think is gonna be fun. And so the first one we're gonna be listening to is and hopefully the volume's louder on this one too. Looking to archangels, angels, and us, and that's all he says in it.
Do you happen to remember those toys? I think they're still around. They're like they were like long plastic tubes, and you would like swing them around in the air, and they would make that whistly sound. That's what it sounds like to me when he's making those intonations.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
It's really cool. I didn't even know the human voice could do that at those octaves. I've heard the throat singers, the Tibetan throat singers and the Mongolian throat singers doing it way down in here.
Yeah.
And hitting harmonies, but I've never heard it done up in those higher octaves.
Well, that's why I liked listening to him, because it's like listening to what he does with his voice when he's like connecting or whatever he's doing is crazy.
It's so cool.
All right. Let's see. Looking to archangels.
Hi, everyone. This is Daniel Scranton, and I'm going to channel
much better.
Yes, yes, yes.
I like his bracelets.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. God. I hate to do this, but I have to go interfere with my dog.
We are here for you. We are the creators. We are a 12th dimensional collective of non-physical beings, and we are here to help. We seek communion with as many of you who are willing to connect. And we seek it because we know it serves you. In other words, the more you open yourselves up to that which is higher dimensional and high frequency, the more you become the divine beings of light and love that you truly are. And when we see you being the divine beings of light and love that you truly are there on earth, we feel joy, we feel satisfaction, and we feel fulfillment. It is
like it's kind of like, it seems like an overly simplistic thing, doesn't it, to say that, like, if you want to achieve like a higher level of spiritual consciousness or vibration or whatever, like, you actually have to like spend time and work on it and spend time around spiritual beings. And it's like, I feel like there have definitely been times in the last couple of years that I've just been surrounded by so much internet shit that I forgot that, because I wasn't surrounded by highly spiritual beings. I was surrounded by base toxic internet energy.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was impossible. And Joshua used to yell at me all the time, be like, Karlyn, you're not doing this. I'm like, I'm trying. But I was like, I could not get myself out of proximity of like the base toxic energy and put myself more in proximity of this. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, then I'm really glad you're doing this every Tuesday, because it snapped you out of that zone for a little while.
No, I think it definitely did that.
Yeah, I'm really glad. I'm happy to be part of that process.
But it's just like such a basic kind of like simple thing, right? Like, you have to want this. Like, if you don't want this, if you want to be around base toxic energy and ground yourself to like toxic energy or whatever, you can do that. No, nothing's going to stop you from doing that. But if you don't like what you're experiencing with that, then you need to make different choices and put yourself in proximity to different energy.
It's just like with any goal you have. If you want to lose weight, you got to quit eating ice cream, and you need to try and work out a little more. You know, if you want to learn how to play the piano, you need to dedicate time to practicing that. I mean, it's the same thing. Yeah. And it adds so much to the wholeness of your being too.
Yep.
Our primary objective to elevate the consciousness there on the planet so that you all can live in harmony with one another and with Mother Earth herself. We know that you have other desires as well. And those desires also serve in the expansion of consciousness that this is all about. So don't worry about the fact that you have desires that are separate from that overall desire that you have for humanity to live in harmony with each other and with the planet. Do not think for a moment that you are letting everyone down by having your desire to be in a romantic relationship or finish a marathon or make a certain amount of money in a year. Those goals and those desires create an expansion that you will someday benefit from and that we all benefit from right away.
Huh.
You like challenges and you like raising the stakes on yourselves. And so you do tend to put yourselves in predicaments, in challenges, in situations where your desire may run in conflict with someone else's desire.
I can't imagine ever doing
never
that.
happened. It was never
and then
happened.
the two of you have that option of finding a harmonious way to deal with that situation, or you can always choose the option of trying to defeat the other.
Yeah.
So that you can have what you want while triumphing over the other person who appears to be giving you a hard time. Those conflicts and those challenges are always there by agreement, and they are there because at the soul level, you know that challenges and conflicts serve you and that you will grow.
I feel so seen right now. And I don't like it. This is not what I expected, and I feel totally fucking seen, and I don't like it, Jennifer.
Well, you know, you had to start with digging on me, didn't you? So this
I
is
did.
You.
This is it's true. It's actually true. This is like instant fucking karma.
In who you really are by facing them. It is a good idea to let go of the notion that you are supposed to be living a perfect life where everything
so true
comes your way effortlessly.
I just want to have an organized
day
day for once.
Have those experiences from time to time, and you will enjoy them. But you will also look back at your past from certain points in your life, and you will know that the challenge served you so much more than when you were on Easy Street. In other words, the challenge brought you more, brought you to a higher level of consciousness, brought you more of a sense of community, connection, and an understanding of who you really are as a source energy being. It is only at that level of the true self, the source self, that you are able to handle the challenge and rise above it. Now, we know that when you are in those times of crisis, when you have hit rock bottom, or when you are feeling despair, you are more likely to seek those like us out for communion.
People always pray when they need something.
Yep.
You are more likely to look to the angels and archangels and helpers you have in the higher realms because you recognize you need that assistance. And in those moments, you often don't think of yourselves as the divine beings of light and love that you are. We come to remind you of who you are. We set the vibrational tone of it for you and invite you to it. And when you see the light, most of you come towards it. And you may then give us all the credit for helping you or raising you up. But you had to get to that rock bottom point, to reach out in faith to that which you hoped or believed existed, and you had to let us in. And when you let us in, beautiful things happen for you and for all of humankind. We are not just talking about us as the creators. We are talking about all who are in the non-physical, as we are all seeking to help you to become more of who and what you really are. We are the creators, and we love you very much. Hi, everyone. Namaste. Many blessings to you and yours. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel or if you haven't subscribed yet for some reason. Helps to get the videos out there to more people.
I was trying to know if
The
he
more
says anything
YouTube
else.
takes
It's
me
like,
seriously
ah,
as a creator. That's what they call us. People who make videos on YouTube are called creators by YouTube. I don't have that many announcements today, so I'll keep that part of it short. I can't think of any off the top of my head. So I'll just tell you we had a great weekend. We had the cousins over again, just my sister-in-law, not my brother-in-law. And I went swimming with Talea, just the two of us on Saturday. Hadn't been in the pool in a long time. That was fun. And
I think it's interesting to see how different his energy is. You know, when he's just like talking.
He's human again.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, he's back to having the human experience.
Huh. What
And
do you think about that one?
I think it does remind me, and this is something that I've been working on over the last few years. I'm getting much better at it. But the thing that stuck out to me the most was about how we always ask for help because we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And we never think to contact them when we aren't in trouble. And when I was a Christian, we were encouraged to pray daily, even if you had nothing to ask for or pray for. Just think of the people you love, say something that you're grateful for, and just connect with God. And that's good advice no matter what you believe. Always take a moment to connect with gratitude, with spirit. I try to do it when I go to bed because everything is nice and quiet and still, and I'm getting ready to leave my body. So I'd like that connection because then I have somewhere to go. My dreams have been I'm still having dreams about universities and stuff. So I'm getting some training right now, and it's been very cool. So, but that also helps. I think if you develop a relationship with spirit when you're doing well, then you have the comfort already there that it's going to be there for you when you're suffering. And you don't have to sit there and go, oh God, is anybody listening up there? Because they are. They were there when you were happy. They'll be there when you're down.
I will fully admit that. So when I first started doing like angel meditations and that sort of thing, I had this teacher who she would always tell me like, the angels want to hear from you all the time. They want to help you. Just like ask the angels for help with like whatever. And so I got into this habit, and this is when I was traveling a lot. I would always ask the angels for like upgrades at the airport or like at my hotel and stuff. But I swear to God, I got a shit ton of upgrades, like way more upgrades than I reasonably probably should have gotten. Like almost every time I flew, I got upgraded to first class. Almost like every time I would get hotel upgrades, like all the time. I'd be like, hook me up, angels. I want a first class seat. I want a mimosa at 6 a.m.
Yes. I love mimosas.
Mm-hmm. But they want to help you with stuff, so ask them for help.
Yeah, and they love seeing us happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. They really do. And not just angels, but all our spirit guides, don't forget about them. They're always hanging out. That's why, like, every now and then I just kind of check in with them. I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on today? How come I can't make up my mind? And I'm not in a bad mood or a good mood. I'm just in a mood,
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, because, this, that, or the other thing. And you just have to listen for it. And because I've been doing it for so many years, it's easy for me to just hear them and talk to them. And I probably look like one of those crazy people walking down the street talking to myself, but it's not that bad, but still.
I had to ask for help last week because, like, after our show, like, I don't know what happened, but, like, I think it had to do with the whole just energy thing of, like, the activation I did the night before. I got irrationally angry about something, like, and it was something that was so stupid, and like and we're not talking like I was fiery and I was pissed off and like when I'm kind of like yelling on the internet. We weren't talking about that. Like, I got irrationally angry about something, and I had to I was like beating up my computer. I was like I was doing all this stuff, and I had to actually stop myself and be like, spirit, what the fuck is going on, and how can you help calm me down? Because it was just like I was not able to calm myself down.
Oh,
and
wow.
So I had to like sit down and meditate, and I did have a moment of clarity at one point. I was like, this is because of the activation is like activating all sorts of repressed shit, isn't it? Like, this is not about like the thing I think I'm angry about. This is about a whole bunch of repressed shit just got activated, and it's going into my system now, and I'm responding. And Stuart was like, yep, that's exactly what's going on, actually.
Yep. That's kind of a little bit of dark goddess work. That's kind of what it's for, is to activate those stuff that's been sitting in the bottom, shaking it up and getting it so you can clear it out. Yeah. It gets a little scary. And like, if you're not self-aware, like you are, as you're talking about, and you were very self-aware, thankfully, that you can probably make really bad decisions and do really bad things.
I was on the verge of making really bad decisions. And like, I knew it. I was like, this is like unreasonable. This is unreasonable on like a good day. Like, what the fuck is going on? So I was like, okay, well, obviously something got stirred up last night, but I also didn't want to admit it. I was like, no, I'm just going to be pissed and fuck everyone and like all this shit. And I was like, Karlyn, you need to calm down and meditate like now.
Yeah.
And just think about this and clear your head and just let spirit come in and take care of it.
Yeah. There's one thing that the Pleiadians said, I believe Barbara Marciniak was saying this, that we get so, and also I've heard a lot of Reiki masters talk about this as well. We get so used to being in pain that when we aren't, we're not comfortable there. And that includes emotional pain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're so like, I have this little zone. I call it my low zone, my depression zone, or I'm just kind of really based. I'm slightly irritated. I'm a little emo. I won't say I'm depressed, but I'm just feeling like down here, like, and I'm very comfortable here. I love it here. This is my place. And then, but it's like, if I get away from that, I start feeling like I'm too hyperstimulated. I don't know what to do with the joy and the happiness and the serenity. And so I'd rather be down here and be be my little crab, down here, my little hole. Just
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, take
Casm-
time to get used to it.
Casmar says, how do you address them? Do you give them names? You mean like spirit or guides or whatever?
Yeah, you ask them, they'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, see, I don't have luck with them telling me their names. Like, I know, like sometimes if I have like different angels have different things that they do, and so like I might address them by name if I know, like I'm calling in like a specific type of energy, but I don't know my guides' names. I have no idea. I cannot. They won't tell me. Well, I'm sure they can tell me, and I'm just not picking up on it for whatever reason.
I don't try to just hear a name all the time unless it comes in really clearly. Sometimes I just ask, what's the vibration of your name? And I'll hear a beat, and I'll hear then maybe some syllables, and then it starts to clarify, and I'll start trying names out until I hear like, yes, I get that. Ooh, you got it feeling. But my main guide that I know is assigned to me throughout the entirety of my life is, I think, a relative that passed on before I was born. And because of the name that she has. And it's actually, when I told my mom it, she was like, that's the name of, of this person. And I was like, no fucking way. And it's funny because I heard her laugh when my mom told me that.
Huh.
And so, but she's been assigned to me for my whole life. Now, there's different ways that this happens. Sometimes you have the same guides assigned you through the whole entirety of your life. Sometimes you have one, sometimes you have two, sometimes you have, they're transient. They come in, they teach you and help you with the thing that they're good at. Then they go help some, it's like getting a specialist, and then that specialist is done and they go, she's not listening to me. Can somebody else come in here and try this? So, but the one that's been with me this whole time is just a very patient, God love her, grandmotherly kind of figure, and she's absolutely, I always feel full of love when she communicates with me. She's so patient. I really do need that.
Do you think guides get like impatient when we're not doing what they're trying to guide us to do?
I think they're allowed to have emotions. I don't see why not. I think that they probably,
where they're like, motherfucker, will you fucking listen?
Yeah.
like, will you listen?
I think if you keep asking for the same thing over and over, if you have a guide that's inclined to being an emotional being, they're going to shake you in some way. Sometimes you might even have something fall off a shelf. They might have like a little, poltergeist moment where they're like, ugh, they're not going to hurt you. But you might even hear a thump somewhere. You might, okay, they're frustrated. I'm sorry. Okay, let me calm down. Sometimes they might pull back. If they're not going to be emotional in your face, they might just disappear. And all of a sudden you just feel really alone.
Yeah, I've had that.
They're like,
when I got really angry last week, it was like it was gone, and I actually felt like abandoned by spirit. Bro, I was like, you said you were gonna help me, and you abandoned me. This is a betrayal.
And they're outside your house, like, I can't right now. No. Yep.
All
so
right.
you can ask their names and just and you know what, you may never even know. If you want, try and tune into their vibe, and you can say guide A, guide B, guide C. Give them a nickname. I've always been able to hear the names of my guides, and in fact, I don't even know how many I have right now. I usually have 3. There's only one that I've been talking to. I know there's a couple more, but I'm not sure who they are. I haven't asked them because I've been very distracted by physicality lately. I just let them talk to me, and I'm not getting too personal, I guess.
Man. All right, well, let's move on to the next one. This is I think we're getting into the parts where he's channeling the collective of ascended masters for these, which is actually kind of cool. Summary of the teachings of the ascended masters. Now, Jennifer, how would you define an ascended master for people who don't know what that is?
An ascended master is someone who has gone through all the lessons of karma and achieved perfect balance. They've gone through all the emotional lessons, the things that we are here to learn, and have perfected them and achieved perfect balance and no longer need to return to physical life. The ascension is a term for you've arrived, you've graduated, you're done. And they sometimes can choose to come back. Jesus was an ascended master. I'm trying to remember, but Siddhartha, who was Buddha, was an ascended master.
Yeah.
And there are several who were, and they don't all achieve fame or get a religion named after them, but they do come down whenever they want to help and teach, and they don't accumulate or lose karma while they are here, because they're wise enough to keep it in balance. They might do a shitty thing, but they know how to get it right back in balance immediately after, like Jesus overturning the money lender tables when he was angry, and that could have been like a little nyeh to his karma, but he immediately could switch that around. So they don't accumulate, they have no more lessons to learn, and they go back, but they don't have to be here. They can do whatever they want now. They're done.
Yeah, they can come in and they can do a little visit and they can leave, or you know, they can come in and live a life and go back and all this stuff. So this is one of the things that's confusing to people when they first start learning about these types of things, is they say, well, you don't have a relationship with Jesus. And I'm like, yes, I do. I just don't think Jesus is the same thing that you think Jesus is. Because I think Jesus is an ascended master. I think Buddha's an ascended master. I think probably the great, the heads of like all the religions that people know throughout the world are ascended masters. That's probably what they were here to do.
I'm not so sure about Muhammad. He's got some shady
shit.
I
was actually going to say the same thing. I was actually in the back of my head as I was saying that, but I was also like, I don't want to piss off anyone right now. Can we just say all of them, but maybe not that one?
They're very proud of what a warmonger rapist he was. Like, they're very proud of that.
Yeah,
as far as I understand. The peaceful ones don't let that interfere.
I was just trying to be nice and say that generally speaking, the people involved in major belief systems are spiritual beings. Generally speaking.
Yeah. We're
not going to talk about the
baddie just now?
Huh?
Was I the baddie just now? That never happened.
That never happened. I was like, I'm not going to bring it up, but and we're not going to talk about the Jews, obviously. That would never happen.
Yeah, well, I guess for them, their leader is Abraham, and I don't believe he was an ascended master.
No, I don't believe. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe we should do a show on Kabbalah sometime.
Oh, that is a fascinating thing. I love Kabbalah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool. Well, I know you have different opinions of it than I do, but the Tree of Life Kabbalah stuff is
I don't mind. It's all energy. It's like, this is what I've actually tried to explain to the groypers and stuff. I'm like, they're using this energy. If you don't like them, like, fine, but like, they're using this energy, and so you should probably know how to use it too, because they're using it and it's no different than what you have access to. And they're like, no, it's evil. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that. No.
a hammer can be a tool or a weapon. Depends on how you use it. Mm-hmm. That's all. All of magic and energy is just a hammer. It's just a tool.
Evil people of all belief systems. It doesn't have to be just one that you don't like.
Because there was one bad guy doesn't mean that the philosophy is bad or that the people that practice it are bad.
Well, most of the time.
Anyway,
let's see the summary of the teachings of the Ascended Masters.
Hi everyone, this is Daniel Scranton, and I'm going to channel for you today.
He's so childlike.
He's adorable.
Oh!
That's some guttural stuff tonight.
Yeah.
Some more base energy.
Yes.
For the masters.
Mm-hmm.
Blessings. We are Thymus. We are the collective of Ascended Masters. We would like to give you all a summary of our teachings, of what it means to master yourselves and your reality. And so here is that summary. First of all, you need to be yourself. You were created to be you. You are a unique aspect of source energy who is meant to be that unique aspect of source energy. Therefore, even if sometimes it looks like someone over there is having a much better time than you are, and it looks that way because they are living a much different life from the one you are living, or because they are much more athletic or gifted in some other way, you still have to be you. Lean into your strengths, your gifts, and do what you desire to do. Secondly, while you're being yourself, you want to be true to yourself, which means speaking your truth and feeling your feelings. These are so important because many of the issues that you face in your physical bodies are due to those times when you weren't allowing yourself to feel what you feel.
Scene.
Or to speak your truth.
Yes.
Thirdly, we advise you to go within, to set aside time to be quiet, to listen to what's happening inside of you. Set aside time to open yourselves up and to receive. You can receive inspiration. You can receive downloads. You can receive intuitive hits. And it is more likely to happen when you take the time to let go of the mental chatter and let go of all of the physical action that you could partake in, and just allow yourself to be, to feel, to sense, to intuit. So much good will come out of that. We cannot even express to you in words how beneficial it is for you to meditate, for you to quietly go within and feel around, see what's happening inside your chakras, and let things come to you. There are lots of different ways to do this. Another teaching of ours is to put your attention on what brings you joy, puts a smile on your face, lights you up, gives you a feeling of relief. You have the power to think a thought, to activate a belief, and to simply focus on something that feels good to you to focus upon. You know what those things are. Some of you know that going to the park and watching the squirrels and listening to the birds.
No, that's valid.
Always puts you in a good
Hang
mood.
on. What do you mean?
That's valid. Sometimes it's like we don't know what we need. We
Yeah,
don't know what
true.
we should be doing. It's like people say, I'll just go to the park. Well, I don't like people. I don't want to go to the fucking park. Or I'm not saying me personally, but just, go do this, go to that. Yeah, but I get like, so what? Well, then what is it that puts a smile on your face? What do you enjoy? For some people, baking is very meditative.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a puzzle. I love crocheting. You knit,
Yep.
For me, writing is my ultimate meditation, or playing a game, just something that like lets you put your oxygen mask on for a minute and just go, that whatever that is, a hot bath. It doesn't have to be jogging. I think we definitely relate as Americans a lot to exercising. Like we always try to encourage people, get out of your house, go touch grass, which is also something we do need. We need to be in the sun. We need to touch nature. I absolutely agree with that. But if you can do that in your own backyard, because you don't want to go down to a park with dealing with other people's kids or their
Or
dogs
drug
or
dealers or vagrants or homeless
maybe you're
people.
not in a good place
or
for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So find your. I always call my house my temple, and so I try to make my temple a place of safety, and it always feels like a retreat. And at least I did that when I was single. It's hard to do it when you have a husband and 2 dogs or children, sometimes true, but at least have a sanctuary somewhere that you can do that. And I know a lot of moms, like they'll go have a nice long bath. The bathroom is their sanctuary or their little crafting room or just whatever, but have a place that you can just have a moment and de-res and be safe and know that you are okay and you can just relax and feel that nurturing. So it's like you never know what you necessarily need, but it's around you. Trust me.
True.
But maybe you only do it once a week. There is no limit other than the one you put on yourself to how frequently you can just focus, observe, give your attention to something that warms your heart. You do not always have to stay informed.
It's so true.
You do not have to be on high alert. And so you don't need to know about everything that's happening all across your planet. If you focus on something that is right in front of you and is giving you a feeling of joy, then you are contributing to the collective consciousness of which you are a part. You are also giving everyone else permission to simply sit and smile because you like what you see. And the world will be a much more peaceful place when everyone gives themselves permission to do just that.
It's sad that we need permission to just have a minute
And
to ourselves. But it's true. It's like we always feel like we have to be going, answering to somebody, taking care of something. If I'm not cooking or cleaning or working, what good am I? It's like give yourself. Oh, it's just tragic.
I mean, this is one of the things that's like it's an instance of like the left having a nugget of truth that they cover in like a mound of bullshit. It's like they do actually make a good point when they say you shouldn't have to feel productive all the time. Or the left is also very attuned to, like, they call it self-care, but they actually suck at self-care because they actually don't take care of themselves at all. But at least, like, they're talking about taking time out, not feeling like you have to rush for everything, taking naps. And it's like they're misguided in their application of it, but at least they're thinking about it, right? And
I think
so
that's also interestingly generational. I was telling a friend of mine who's a millennial, and I'm Gen X. So I was like, she's using words like self-care and all those buzzwords. And I was like, I wish we had that. We did not grow up with that kind of psychology.
Yeah.
Everything was being responsible or shutting the hell up and getting out of the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my like
have fun, but yeah.
My upbringing was not self-care related. I'll tell you that. It was, you are going to get a job and you are going to work, and you are going to work when you have downtime, and you're going to work all the time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and it's like you're not doing anything else. And it's like, probably a little bit more of that would have been helpful, because I actually do have like I feel like I'm a workaholic, but like I also feel guilty when I'm not working. Like I feel guilty if I'm just like, taking time to. It's probably why I don't go to the gym anymore. Like I used to feel guilty when I used to go to the gym every fucking day. And I was like taking time away from work. And now I'm like, that I work for myself and I have to do content all the time. I'm like, well, gotta work.
I work constantly at my, at writing at my craft, at building my name, my brand, blah, 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 blah. And I don't get paid yet because it takes time to build a name. Authors don't get paid right away. It takes years to get paid. So that even doubles my guilt trip. I don't have a real job. I'm wasting my time. Why am I even doing this? I just had a little crisis about that recently. It's like, what the fuck am I even doing? What? No.
I had a crisis recently too, Jennifer. Even when you do start making money, you still have that crisis.
Okay. Oh, good. That's great. Good.
FYI, it never goes away. Like, what am I doing with my life? I'm teaching socialism on the internet. It's like, bro.
Yeah. I don't have a real job. It's your.
I got a PhD and I'm teaching socialism on the internet. That's not actually what happened, but
yeah, totally. Yep. You just drive that path. It's okay, but it's also healthy to have a little self-doubt so we don't get too full of ourselves too. So,
but I've actually been thinking about this lately. It's like I've actually had less self-doubt lately, just in terms of like what I'm doing. And I feel like it has made a difference in terms of like the output of what I'm doing, where I'm like, I'm doing exactly what I fucking should be doing. I'm awesome at this. There's no one better at this than me. And so I do actually think that that's helpful, but I don't know. Like you should think like you're the best writer ever. Like I'm writing the best fucking erotic fiction ever. The world is graced by my writing. I am the next 50 Shades of Grey, except mine is way better.
Oh, her only thing was luck. She got lucky. Her writing is not fabulous. It's not optimal.
Well, luck is made. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Isn't that a horrible fucking saying? The harder you work, the luckier you get.
I mean, sometimes I wonder if it is luck is like money. It takes money to make money. Yeah. It takes luck to be lucky. I don't know. That just sounds ridiculous. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep rowing the boat. I'll be fine. It's gonna be great.
It's like with Elon Musk, right? Like Elon Musk will never be poor. Like he has had moments where he has slept on couches or like done all this stuff, but like he knows how to make money. And even more than that, he knows that he can do it, you know? Whereas, and I think that that's actually the biggest thing, is like knowing that you can write a book. It's like once you write a book, you can write another book. You might not want to do it because writing a book the first time, I think, is kind of a traumatic experience that you force yourself to do. Yeah. At least it was for me. I don't know if it was for you, but it's like the minute the book is done, it's like a hurt. It's like, and then like once you keep writing, you're like, okay. I'm gonna keep going.
Won't be out when it gets out. Well, my first book was a trilogy, so it was like I was running a marathon for 2 years, writing and editing and getting it out and doing all the things and all the checklists and learning all about publishing and then it was like, I'm doing it on my own now. I've got another book. I got another book. Now this one, I'm just like, it'll get out when it gets out.
Yeah, that's how I've actually, I feel like I started out the year really like on like a tear. I was like, I'm going to write so many fucking books this year. And I actually do have like a bunch of books started and I've been making progress, but I petered out at some point. And now I'm just like, I had a whole fucking schedule. I was like, this is going to be great. Now I'm like, the book will get published when I get like, calm down. Everyone calm down. Yeah. The book will get written in time.
But sometimes you have to shift your focus over. I mean, like you're putting together the institute, man. You're doing all that
things.
Yeah, like after I get Seed Bearer out, and then I have my Wolf book. Once those are done, all my focus is going to be on relocation to Tennessee. That's going to be my whole focus, and YouTube, because I do have stuff in the channel in the pipeline. But then I got sick and I couldn't talk for 2 months, barely.
Happens.
So we're that is my next priority, and then I'm not even going to put another book out until I've got a YouTube channel out.
But someone asked me, I think it was actually, I went on Mio's channel, with Mio and Brittany, and they were like, I was talking about the Communist Manifesto fairy tale, and one of them asked me, they're like, how many books have you written? And I was like, yeah, like 5 or something like that. And they were like, 5 books, Karlyn, what the fuck? I was like, it's not that big a deal. I'm writing 3 more right now. So it's like, it's like just getting over that first hurdle and like believing that you can do it. And now I'm just like, whatever. I write a book whenever I want to write a book. It's fine. It's not that big a deal.
Yep. It's not that big a deal. It is, though. Never forget to praise yourself, too. That's also important.
I'm going to write more anti-communist books than anyone in the world.
Nice.
Ever in history, Jennifer.
I want to be the first book with erotic content to win a serious literature award.
Oh, that'd be pretty rad.
That's because no one has.
And that would be pretty rad if they did that.
I'm not talking Pulitzer necessarily, but some kind, I'm not talking like New York Times bestseller list or anything. I'm like a serious literature award where it can be taken as literature and it has sex in it. And then people are just like, but it's that good. That's kind of my goal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It might be 20 years from now. It could be next year. Who knows? Maybe the one I just wrote is it. I have no idea, but that's kind of something that's the level I try to achieve, that I hold myself to.
I love that. Why not?
Yeah.
Finally, we would say, relax and know that everything is going to be okay.
Exactly, Daniel. It's all
Especially
gonna be okay.
when you are starting to believe that it's not. There are plenty of things that you will be told you need to worry about. You need to prepare for this or that because the doom is coming.
Doom.
But how many people are just telling you, relax and know that everything is going to be okay? Believe it, have faith, trust, and then you'll come to that place where you just know it. And those are our teachings.
That's it.
Words to live by. And we hope that at least some of it struck a chord with you. We hope that all of it did for some of you. And that is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we're always amongst you.
I love
it. I should have had my cough syrup before I started. I have this homeopathic stuff I've been taking. Namaste.
Well, he got
many
a
blessings to you and yours. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Feeling much better today. May not sound it, but inside, especially in this area, I feel much better. So
and he just does announcements and stuff at the end.
Yeah.
I like this guy a lot. I don't know. There's something about him.
Well, you know what I find sometimes with male gurus, if I can use that term loosely, guru, or spiritualists, is they almost use it as like a chick magnet thing. Like, look at me, spiritual I am. Ooh, it just gets a little nauseating. Whereas I think women tend to try to queen it out a little. I'm a fairy princess and I'm so in tune, I like how he's just normal. Like we've come across a few of those with channeling Eric, where they're just very base, very grounded people that are just doing a thing that they're able to do. And I really like that.
Yeah, I agree. All right. This is the video that I picked out specifically for Jennifer, and I definitely want her opinions on this. Do you need religious rules to make right choices? What do you think he's going to say about this, Jennifer, or what will Thalmus say?
Thymus, you know, I can't speak for Thymus, but I can say that we don't need religious rules to make the right choices. I think religious rules were developed from just common sense, honestly. But if you are such a person that needs to cling to rules, you might need religious rules to make the right choices. But I think as a general rule, sometimes religion tells you to do the wrong thing too.
Fair point. It does sometimes tell you to do the wrong thing. Cool. Well, let's see what the collective has to say.
Hi, everyone. This is Daniel Scranton, and I'm going to channel for you today.
What do you think he's doing?
I think he's connecting.
Hang on. Go ahead.
So, like, you've got your crown chakra, and then you've got your higher self chakra, which is 4 feet above your head.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's bringing energy into his higher connections.
That's what I thought. And then when he brings it down here and he does this around his heart, he's like, it feels like he's like pumping it through his heart.
He's tethering. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like he's creating a circuit, like, and then he tethers it. Yep.
There were multiple levels there. Did you hear that?
That was beautiful.
Blessings.
Oh,
We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters. We are not here to tell you what to do and what not to do. You get that from a religion. A religion will give you a list of do's and don'ts. And then the people following that religion can either adhere to that list or deviate from it when they feel they must.
the cat is over by the door. The cat wants to get out.
I think it's playing with a toy or something. I love it.
Cat.
Or they want to. And they will believe that there are consequences for doing so. But we are here to tell you that you have the answers within you, and that you will know what
you're
to
channeling
do
higher
by
beings
how
on
you feel
the internet,
and what not to.
I love this, and he's not even phased by this. Is the thing like there hasn't been a single flinch, or this is how you know he's not here.
Yeah,
he has stepped away. He is not flinching.
Yeah. The cat don't give a fuck as long as you're channeling higher beings on YouTube right now. I found a pipe cleaner to play with. Awesome. Now that's finding your joy in the moment. You can learn from that. Good kitty.
So true.
You have the answers within you, and that you will know what to do by how you feel and what not to do by how you feel as well. We are always seeking to direct you back inward and to pay attention to the feelings, the thoughts, the physical reactions in your bodies. We know that you have to be flexible and that you have to take lots of things into consideration when making any decision about your lives. We know that life is not as simple as just giving you a list of do's and don'ts.
Oh, he's got a scratching post. I see.
Oh, he does, yeah.
And we respect you, your free will, your right to choose, and your sovereignty. When you are feeling that you just want to be told what to do and what not to do by a higher power, by someone outside of yourself, like an authority figure, then you know you are feeling out of touch with your internal guidance. And you...
Isn't that an interesting argument that I didn't expect?
Can you rewind that? Just let me hear that again.
So basically what they're saying is they're always like, if you're looking for guidance on what to do, they're going to encourage you to like turn inward and like, you know, trust your inner guidance. And if you're turning to an outward authority figure, that means you're not turning inward and trusting what your intuition is telling you.
Oh,
which, I mean, it sounds simple enough, but it's actually like you're putting the responsibility on something external to you to guide you, when in fact what you need to do is look inside of you.
Well, see, and that's the problem you and I have both had with a lot of organized religion, in that they always blame the devil and thank Jesus, and they have no, you know, it's like, well, I'm just going to let Jesus take the wheel because I can't fucking be trusted to make any decisions. Yeah. And that always makes me kind of sad. It's like, oh, I mean, I appreciate your faith, but you know.
And it's not that like Jesus won't be there to like guide you if you want, but like you have to ask, you know.
Yeah. Well, or you're just giving up and letting whatever happen. Even not making a decision is still making a decision.
No, ain't that the truth? Not making a choice is still a choice.
Yeah.
John says, how do you know what your intuition is speaking? That is like the golden question, isn't it?
If you
I think sometimes
things come to my head.
Well, I mean, like, I think sometimes you just know, and I know that's not like a good answer for people who are looking for more. Well, how do you know? Well, sometimes you just fucking know. Okay, sometimes you just know something is the right thing to do, and everything in your body is saying it's the right thing to do, and and the only thing saying it's not the right thing to do is your ego.
Can be. I'm trying to right now learn the difference between an ego-based decision, an emotional decision, and what is actually what I want or need. And those are very, very delicate boundaries. So as far as intuition goes, I'm asking for clarity. The most clarity I can give you is it is instant. Intuition happens. It's intuitive. It means you know it already. It doesn't mean you have to search for it. If you sit there and go, well, I don't know, then you're blocking it. And you have to sit and be still, be quiet with yourself, and just kind of go, where do I feel? There was some advice I heard from Deepak Chopra that I really loved, which was, if you think about something and you're not sure how to trust your intuition, feel the vibe in your body. If you think about choice A and you feel kind of like, ooh, that's good. Note that. If you think about choice B and you're like, okay, there's that. Think about choice C and you're like, ugh, that's resistance. Anytime you feel resistance, eliminate that choice. That's not your vibe. Go for, now narrow it down to one or two, A or B. Which one gives you the best wee? And that is where your intuition is guiding you. It's so really, you can use your body almost like a Geiger counter to measure the resistance of, you know, the spiritual flow, what you're connecting to. Now that doesn't mean, and I'm gonna give this caveat, that doesn't mean it's gonna be the perfect right choice, because you may not be aligned with the perfect right choice yet either, but it will get you closer to it. And then you might go, oh, I know what it is now. I've got it. There's your intuition. So I hope that helps.
That's actually happened to me a bunch of times with writing, where like I start to go in a certain direction and it actually feels like a really good direction. And I'm like, this is exactly what I need to do. And then it kind of like veers off and goes in this direction. But I had to get to here first before I could veer off. And I'm like, this is actually much fucking better. It's not like you even see the progression with like I did the debunking the Communist Manifesto book. So the Communist Manifesto was like inserted into my fucking brain for several weeks. And it almost killed me to do that book. And I really hated it, but it was like, what came next after that? Well, I wrote the fairy tale, and the fairy, because I would I have actually written that fairy tale if my head hadn't been sunken deep into the Communist Manifesto for weeks? I don't know.
Well,
but the fairy tale seemed like a better like I think the fairy tale is a better book, but I like the debunking book, but I'm just like, the fairy tale's much better.
Well, it's more fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you didn't have that intimate knowledge where you're eating, sleeping, breathing this knowledge, you didn't have that intimate relationship with it, you could not have had a fairy tale with. You could not have written fun things that go with it, or something creative, and make the knowledge digestible in a creative way versus just, here's the paragraphs that explain all the stuff about this stuff. And now you're making it entertaining, but you have to know the source material that well.
And I also think there's something to be said about, like, especially with writing or creative things, there are some things that you can't not write. Like, you can't not. Like, it sits in your head, and you're either going to deal with that situation or it's going to continue to annoy you until you deal with that situation. I'm sure you've had this experience where you're like, there. Like, here it is, and just like do it. And like, I had that experience when I wrote the Trump rally article. You're just like, get it out of your system, like now, stream. I had that experience with the Communist Manifesto fairy tale. I basically wrote most of that story in like a weekend because I was just like, whatever.
Get it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so. I've had that experience with a couple books where I've A Summer with Persephone, and then the one I just finished, I wrote the first draft I wrote in 2 weeks, 50,000 words. It's now up to 70,000 words, but it was like in 2 weeks to pump 50,000 words out is like ridiculous.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. And if people have never tried that, give it a try and just see how insane you go in the course of doing that.
But
it's okay.
And don't forget all that you still have life happening too.
No, you don't. You don't have life when that. You do not have life when you're banging out 50,000 words in a weekend. You do not have any life to live.
Your husband says, "What's for dinner?" You go, "Feed yourself."
You're like, I'll see you on Tuesday. Call Domino's.
There's frozen burritos somewhere. Leave me alone.
Throw something at the door.
Exactly.
What to do and what not to do by a higher power, by someone outside of yourself, like an authority figure. Then you know you are feeling out of touch with your internal guidance, and you probably just need to go and meditate.
Yeah, true.
Or you can go sit in nature at the top of a hill.
How I saw that in my head is like, I see in my head like this kind of like older gentleman that looks kind of like the new Pope, but maybe is a little skinnier, and he's wearing these little thin like wire glasses, and it's like he's looking down on me, and he like just pushes the glasses down just enough where you can see over the brims and goes, maybe you just need to meditate. And it's like looking at me over the rim of his glass. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Take time to connect. Oh, come on. Yeah.
Or under a tree or by the ocean. You don't have to give your power away to anyone who tells you that they know what is best for you.
Yo, so true.
Now, you can take advice from someone that you deem to be wise or very informed, but you always have to determine for yourself how that advice feels, whether it resonates or not.
Did you see that go through? He just had an orb go through.
Did he?
This is...
I saw something go through. Hang on, let's go back.
Or maybe it could have been like
It might have been that light in the background.
He might have something that's like catching light and like it spin like a crystal or something, and it reflected, but it just went through. It looked like it went behind him.
Let's see.
Or very informed. But you always have to determine for yourself how that advice feels, whether it resonates or not.
Oh,
that was an orb.
That was an orb. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
That was definitely an orb. Hang on. Instant replay. Now I see it.
Determine for yourself how that advice feels, whether it resonates or not.
Do you guys see that? It came from over here.
It like corner kind of almost curves and goes right behind him.
I'm going to try to see if I can catch it when it's like right here.
Not. How that advice feels, whether it resonates or not.
See, right here. Almost got it. It's right there.
Yeah.
Self, how that advice feels, whether it resonates or
there.
It went right into his neck. Yeah.
Self, how that advice feels, whether it
pause, play pause,
resonates or
I almost had it. Oh fuck, I almost had it.
Self, how that advice feels,
Can
whether
you slow-mo it?
I can't not down to a second. I have to like
resonate.
Oh, it's coming in. It's coming in. See
there it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah,
right here. It's coming in. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick pause. Oh, it's like right here now.
It's that fast, yeah.
It's super fast. Everyone see it? That's crazy. What the fuck is that?
Spirit coming in.
One more time.
Self, how that advice feels, whether it resonates.
There it is, right there, right there. Got it.
I think something might be leaving him too. I don't know. I'm watching.
That's crazy, though.
That's so cool.
Awesome.
Or not.
I think it flew right in front of his chest,
is
actually.
An ongoing process
really cool.
For every single one of you, because you're always going to be faced with more and more choices in your lives. Dilemmas will come up. Issues will arise. And sometimes challenges will come at the most unexpected of times. You also need to understand that with every decision point that's in front of you, there's a purpose for it being there.
Yeah.
The perplexing choice that's in front of you is not just there to get you into a state of confusion or frustration. You create your reality, and so you put it there because you, at the soul level, knew that facing that decision would help you to grow spiritually. That's why everything is in your life as it is. The less you resist the difficult decision that's in front of you, the easier it will be for you to relax into discovering its purpose for you. There will always be a purpose.
Relax into.
For you.
Hang on. Say that again.
Notice the phrase relax into.
Mm-hmm.
Relax into the reason it is there. Instead of sitting there going, why is this happening? You just go, okay.
It's here.
Let the reason come. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why?
And everything is meant to serve you as the person who is on a journey back home to source. Now, the person that just wants everything to go smoothly all the time and wants to have only pleasant interactions with other people and a nice big house and a nice neighborhood and lots of money in the bank and a fancy car doesn't always get what they want.
True.
I don't need everything to be easy. I just need a fucking break from all the stuff
Sometimes
that's hard.
that person that you can be pretending to be in any given moment will actually get something better than what they originally wanted. And usually the person who is operating from more of an egoic state of being will have to go through the growth experience first. By and large, you don't like going through the growth experience, but you like the end result of the growth experience. Now we will return to where this transmission began and let you know that you are meant to create these challenges for yourselves so that you have to make a decision. It is much more important that you make the decision and take the growth experience than that you have a set of rules from the correct rules givers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. He brought it back. I forgot what this video was about for a second, and now we're back. We're back. That was cool. It's more important that you make the decisions you make than you make the decisions from the correct rule givers.
Yep.
I love that. Uh-huh.
That is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we are always amongst you.
So cool.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching. Many blessings. Namaste.
Love it. Love it. I liked how it kind of meandered around, and at the end it just like hit the note. It's like,
Yeah.
it's more important that you make a decision based on like what experience you want or whatever than you make a decision based on the right rule givers.
Well, that's, I think what gave it the punch was making the right decision, not necessarily the right rule givers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, in other words, everyone thinks their religion is the right religion, the true religion, the chosen people, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
But even like, I was kind of saying when we started that out, there are a lot of religious rules, and I should know because I used to be very religious, that aren't nice, good, or right. The way that some scriptures in the Bible, that the way men choose to follow some of those is very, very destructive and harmful to certain people,
Yep. Well, I would think it'd also be harmful to them if it's being harmful and destructive to other people too, because you're gonna get the result of what you put out.
The example that kept playing in my mind is the example that marriage is forever, and you can never leave it, no matter what. And there were so many women who endured abuse because their husband was supposed to be it was, God, the ministry, the husband, the woman. And they couldn't get out of their situation because they believed they had made this commitment under God, that God had ordained it, and they were just there to endure it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would let this abusive relationship happen because they thought they were being holy or righteous. And that's just yeah. So to me, that's a prime example of the wrong rules.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Jennifer, do you have a cricket in your house or something?
Are you hearing it?
Yeah, we hear the fucking cricket.
I do.
Do you have a cricket?
He's way out by my living room.
Wow.
I think he's outside my window over there. He's really singing for the ladies.
That's a long way. I know what your house looks like. That is like a long ass way away. That cricket is loud.
He's outside. I think he's outside that window. I don't think he's in the house. If he was in the house, I'm pretty sure the dogs would have found him. They're sleeping now, though.
Oh no, he's definitely not in
He's
the house. Let me
outside.
be on high
Yeah,
alert.
loud crickets.
Huh. My dog has taken to like whenever, I don't know if I told you this, whenever Victor leaves, because Victor usually spends all day with the dog downstairs because that's just where he works. And so when Victor leaves to like go to the store or something at the end of the day, the dog sits down there and just howls until he's like, boo!
Oh no.
And I'm like, I like look downstairs. I'm like, Kobe, he's coming back. It's like he doesn't believe it. I'm like, he's gonna be fine, buddy. It's gonna be okay.
My husband says whenever I leave that when we had Phelan and Keena, they would sit by the front door, just wait and wait. So like if I went to New Jersey when I was visiting my grandmother out there for a week, he's like, they would just spend all day by the door and then they'd come to bed with me and then they'd spend all day by the door for like a week. Like these poor dogs. I guess the new ones are doing too now.
Yep. Dogs. What can you do? All right. Well, our last video for tonight, unless anyone has anything they would like to make a request for, is, I've never gotten in trouble on the internet for saying all challenges are chosen prior to birth. And so maybe Daniel will get in trouble for saying all challenges are chosen prior to birth. But we'll see what the collective has to say about this. And we'll see if I was right and will be vindicated on the internet for all time. And everyone who attacked me will issue me an apology, of course.
Because Thymus said so.
Because Thymus said so, exactly. All right, sound set up? Yes.
Hi, everyone. This is Daniel Scranton. This is my YouTube channel. Hi, everyone. This is Daniel Scranton. This is my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. And now I'm going to channel for you.
Blessings. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters. We understand that at times in your lives you feel that the challenges in front of you are challenges you never would have chosen.
True. Thymus, true.
And it is true that the you that you are in that very moment would not consciously choose that challenge or those challenges. But as a soul, you see the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see how the little you is going to grow, expand, evolve, and become more of the true self by meeting that challenge.
So next time, can my bigger picture involve a bungalow on the beach? Just asking.
Well, you'll have to choose that before you're born, Jennifer, to be born into a family with a house with a bungalow on the beach.
Yes. I want to be an heiress. But they have their own problems.
That's exactly it. Like they have their own problems.
This is one of
Why
the
they're
ways
all hopped up on drugs all the time.
Oh God, it's true. Have
And
them OD, bless them.
Constant therapy.
Yeah.
Shopping all the time because they think buying an expensive purse is going to fix whatever's going on, and it's not.
Yeah, true. Careful what you wish
these
for.
people try to talk themselves out of the truth that they are the creator of their reality.
Yeah, true.
It is by looking at their reality and saying, there's no way I would create this.
Yup. Uh-huh.
Sometimes it is also true that you are creating in a very unconscious way.
So true.
Oh boy,
You are
yeah.
not deliberately creating the challenge, but you are creating it.
You're saying, I don't have any money. 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 And then you don't have any money and you have trouble earning it and you can never get ahead and you wonder why because you're sitting there going, I don't have any money. I don't have any money.
No, he's broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're always creating your reality. Always.
Yep.
So if that's what you want to create, go ahead and think those thoughts and you're going to keep not having any money. Congratulations.
Change your narrative.
Yep.
Nonetheless,
This is why it's important for people to understand this stuff, at least on like some sort of basic level, because how many people get stuck in these patterns just because like they really don't like, I mean, most people don't know how this stuff works at all. Right?
Yeah.
At least like with you and I, like if we're creating something that's miserable, at least on some conscious level, we're like, I know I'm fucking doing this and I might not want to fucking do anything about it right now. We might have a fight with ourselves and then say it's not my fault, it's everyone else's fault, but we know internally it's our fault.
I was doing so well and I would never fuck myself up like this on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. But deep down, you know. It's like every time I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm like, yes, you are. Shut the fuck up and take responsibility.
Yep.
yes, through the words, thoughts, beliefs, actions, and feelings that you are regularly entertaining in your beingness.
Uh-huh.
Usually, the challenge you are facing that is unwanted will echo back to those thoughts, words, actions, beliefs, and feelings. And when you find the connection between them, then you can recognize that this was a creation of yours and one that you took part in without realizing you were doing it.
You know what that smacks of for like a psychological term?
What?
Self-sabotage.
Yeah, for real though.
I'm awesome at that. I'm so good at it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn how to release that. That's one of my big lessons I'm working through right now.
The struggle is real though, because it's like you have to feel worthy of what you want, and then if you start to get something that you don't feel worthy of,
narrative.
yeah. Or like, I mean, how many times have I seen this happen where it's either happened to someone that like, okay, so it's like you're getting love from someone or you're getting care from someone or you're getting like positive energy from someone and everything's going fine, but you're not used to that. And so then you start picking a fight over nothing. I'm not saying I've ever done this or other people haven't done this to me because I would never engage in this. And I'm sure no one would ever do this to me, pick a fight for no good reason when everything's fucking fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't imagine.
Then they don't take responsibility for picking the fight in the first place. And then everything gets worse and worse and worse because they haven't said, oh, maybe I was self-sabotaging this when nothing was wrong in the first place. And I've created problems where none existed.
I think of addiction also. Like people think, hey, I'm doing so good. It's been 3 months. I'll just have a little bit, or whatever the substances that they love. And before you know it, they're back in the trenches,
Man, the addiction piece is like, I have a really hard time being around former addicts. Like, do you experience this? Like, I'm not around a lot of former addicts, but I think there's actually a reason for that. It's like, I can see right through their behaviors of like
Oh.
seeking attention or seeking validation or seeking people being like, oh honey, it's gonna be okay. And it's like they're acting out just to get that validation because maybe they aren't getting it from booze anymore or whatever. It's just I
Yeah.
don't know, it's a separate topic, but it just drives me crazy. It's like, okay, I know what you're doing right now.
You don't have the patience for it.
I don't have the patience, especially like if they like, because the other thing about like former addicts is like they're not going to give it to you because all their energy is going to them.
Yeah.
Right. And so not only do they want your energy, not only are they not giving anything to you in terms of like, hey, how's your day going? Congratulations on that project or whatever, but they want you to give everything to them to validate them or make them feel better. And I'm just like, it's a reciprocal thing. It's got to be reciprocal.
I think that the more you learn certain psychological terms and behaviors, the more you're aware of it, the less kind of patience you have.
Yeah.
You know, unless you possess like a healing nature and the language to kind of scoop them away from that and to re-angle the conversation. But if that person if they're just going to be a narcissist about it, then it's like, okay.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't need to be here.
You let me know if you ever want to have like a reciprocal thing and you move beyond whatever issues you're working through, but I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Now, how do you grow from the challenge? You look for the opportunity for growth. You look for an opportunity to change something about yourself, something you're thinking, something you've been feeling. You start by accepting your own creation as it is.
Yeah, real.
And then you wonder, how does this serve me?
I like that.
How am I?
I like that. You wonder, how does it serve me to be mobbed by thousands of people on the internet for no good reason? How does this serve me?
I think it's funny anytime I like find Joshua on the internet because he doesn't always get sent my way for some reason. The algorithm doesn't always, but he does like live streams and stuff about the astrology for the week, and I love catching them. But it seems like the last 3 times I have been able to catch him or he shows up in my algorithm, he's always talking about how to release things that no longer serve you. And I was like, really? Okay, once, hey, that's useful. Twice, coincidence. 3 times, that's a message now.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I holding on to? Now I start going through my list. Yep.
I wonder what I'm holding on to that I should be releasing right now.
Imagine how many freaking things I'm gripping to death right now. Yeah.
Posed to grow through this because you are and because you can. And when you do, you can look back at the challenge and see it as a blessing because it helped you in ways that you weren't looking to be helped.
I mean, there is truth to that. And that's something I've actually thought a lot about, not necessarily with the whole Hitler thing, because that wasn't actually the worst mobbing I've ever experienced on the internet, but like with the Aaron stuff and the ongoing perpetual harassment every day of my life, there were so many times where I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to learn from this? Like, this is awful. But like being on the other side of it now and looking back, I'm like, you got a lot stronger during that experience and you kind of ran out of fucks to give just like completely. Like you thought you were out of fucks to give before, but no, you have ascended to a new level of like, not only have I run out of fucks, I'm probably in negative balance of fucks right now. and I just don't know.
You're at a fuck deficit.
Yeah, I'm at a fuck deficit and I just don't know I don't know what someone on the internet can do that would actually even get to me at this point.
That question.
Like I was well, this is funny because I didn't even realize I was doing this. I picked a fight, kind of, although he didn't respond really, but I was definitely picking a fight with HG Tudor, who is a narcissistic psychopath. And I was just like, I was sitting here last night going, Karlyn, are you picking a fight with a narcissistic psychopath just because you want to see what happens to see if he like actually tries to come at you? And I was kind of like, I wonder what would happen. I wonder how I would handle that, because I was like, what could he actually do to me? Because there's really nothing he can do to me. So I'm like, maybe I am picking a fight with a narcissistic psychopath just because I can, because I was put through so much bullshit on the internet that like there is no other place to go.
Well, that is a little bit of an ego trip right there for sure.
No, but it is. I mean, it's like, would I have ever chosen to undergo, multiple years of being harassed every day of my life for no good reason by psychos on the internet? Well, no, that would not be a choice I would have consciously made. Do I think I made a choice like that on some level before I was born? I mean, it lasted long enough that I have to think that was part of my path in some way, or maybe not that specific, not to that like level of specificity. You know what I'm saying? But like some sort of like occurrence like that where it elicited a certain response. I have to think that there was that all happened for a reason and that I grew because of it, you know?
Well, if I may, I could be way off base here, but to speak with authority about a topic and confidence and be fearless with the subject matter, you have to have kind of a thick skin.
Yeah.
And I think you may have agreed to get a thick skin before you could go be an expert about something. And that's what all of this did.
Well, and it all happened at the same time, too, because like, when did I become the expert about the thing? I became the expert about the thing as all this bullshit was happening.
Yeah. Well, you needed that challenge so you could find the strength to push back, because once you realize you could win and make it this thing not matter anymore, now you stepped into the shoes. It's like, okay. Yeah. Come at me, bro. What the fuck? You know, like now you've arrived. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like every major challenge I've had on the internet has been related to that. Like, I don't think like the end, like it's kind of like, people, I don't know how to phrase this exactly, but like, I got shot onto this world stage in 2020 and people might have thought like, oh, this is the big, like she was on Fox News and had PragerU and all this bullshit. And that's like the biggest thing ever. And I was like, that wasn't even the thing though. That wasn't the thing. That was just the
first step.
That was taking Karlyn, the organizational psychologist, corporate trainer, and going, yeah, you're going this way now. And you have no fucking choice but to go this way. We have blocked off other exits at this point because you fought us for too long and now you're going this way.
Oh, yeah. And also, one thing we have to keep in mind especially if it involves multiple people coming at us, we're not the only person learning a lesson here.
Oh, yeah. True.
All of those people are learning too. We just happen to all be colliding in this kind of battle. So like they're learning as well. And we may have agreed to I'll be a punching bag, but only for 1 year or 2 years or whatever. After that, you're on your fucking own because I got to learn this. So what you need to do is going to serve that purpose. And after that, you're going to learn from me too. You're going to learn about me pushing back. And after that, maybe they'll go punch somebody else for a little while. And then they realize, what am I doing? And then they see the track record. So you never know who is learning what.
Yep. No, I think it's a really good point.
It helped you to grow, to become, to make peace with something, to let go of something, to repair a relationship. There are all kinds of ways that you all present yourselves with to move beyond where you currently are. And the more consciously you do it, the better it will feel. So what you want to do is to challenge yourselves consciously to become more of who you really are, to love more unconditionally, to feel more of that unity consciousness, that truth of who you really are. You want to challenge yourself to become a better person, a better partner, a better family member to your family members. And yes, perhaps even a better employee, a better citizen. Because those challenges will be met without you having to be blindsided by something. And no one likes to be blindsided. Look for the opportunities that are in your life right now for growth, for expansion, to become in the flesh more of the source energy being that you are. And you will find those opportunities, and when you act upon them, you will feel more empowered and less like a victim.
True. Mm-hmm.
You will feel that you are the creator of your reality.
See, and that's part of the thing that always pissed me off about getting attacked on the internet for saying stuff like this, because it is like, once you realize that you are an active participant in all of this, even if you're going through something that really, 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 really sucks, it can adjust your perspective and make it more of an experience where you can come away from it in a more empowered position. But if you just think you're like a poor victim of the world and everything's happening to you and you have no control, then you really are a victim of the world, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, everything is about control to some level, in some extent. So, yeah, being able to, I think people who are just like consummate victims, like they're constant victims, are people who control you by acting like they don't have control.
Yep.
And that's not the case. They're emotionally controlling you in some way, but that's working for them. So they always have to be that victim. But yeah.
So true, Jennifer.
Because you will have faced the challenge with your eyes and arms wide open. You are all growing, evolving, and expanding. It's just a question of how and when. And you can do it joyously. We know that you can, and we know that some of you do. And you have our full support either way. That is all for now. We are Thymus. We are the collective of ascended masters, and we are always amongst you.
I like that I have a little sign out phrase.
Yup. I like it too.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching. Namaste.
Thank you, Daniel. I enjoyed this. I really enjoy his stuff. I mean, this is like, I know it's not, you know, it's one of those things we talk about, like all these teachers say or the channelers, they say basically the same thing. And they might say it from different groups, or they might say it in different ways, or they might have different energy. So it's not like I've heard all this stuff before. So there's no like big, but sometimes you hear something that you know, but it's the right time for you to hear it. Where you're like, yeah, okay, fine.
Or even the word order is just one a little bit different. That makes more sense to you. And you're like, oh, God, okay. I've heard that same thing, but it was just that one voice inflection, or he used this synonym instead of the other words I've been hearing. And now it's clear.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, different teachers, like, even if they're teaching the same thing, they can teach in different ways. And you're going to respond to one differently than you're going to respond to the other. This is why, like, the idea of, like, you know, competition, at least in content and when you're teaching people stuff, is so stupid, because it's like, you have an audience, I have an audience, we could be teaching the exact same thing, but some people are going to do it in one way. Yeah, there's plenty for everybody. I was thinking about that in terms of YouTube channel and content creators, and how it's like, they're like, oh, I look at one content creator, I'm like, wow, they have 50,000 followers, this one's got 100,000, that one's got 200,000, wow, they're doing so well. Like, I don't even know if anybody would be interested. Why would anybody subscribe to me? I'm like, let me think. Because I am subscribed to like 3 million YouTube channels. Everybody subscribes to tons. There's so much abundance out there for things that we love, different eclectic ideas and offerings. And it's not just that every person in the world can only subscribe to like one YouTube channel. Right. We all have dozens that we love to follow. And sometimes you might watch some and not others. And sometimes you might be like, I get people all the time. They're like, Karlyn, I haven't watched your content in like a year. What's going on? I'm like, hey, bro, I remember you. You know? Yeah. Sometimes I'll subscribe to a channel because I know it's not something I'm going to watch every day. But when I want it on my subscription list. Yeah.
Like there's a dude that teaches sign language that I just freaking love. And every now and then I get the itch. I'm like, let's learn some signs today. And I'll turn him on, and he's a deaf guy and he's really expressive and he's just wonderful. I love him. And I learn very easily from him. So you just never know what's going to strike your fancy.
Cool. Well, I think that's all we're going to do for tonight. Jennifer, do you have any announcements or anything you'd like to share?
I'm just going to pull up movie night. I'm going to be posting a poll after we get off here in the supporter Discord. So we did a poll last week and it worked out really well. We had a lot of fun watching Total Recall last Sunday.
Yeah, Total Recall was awesome.
That was a good time. This time we're going into some darker sci-fi because it is Sci-Fi May. So I've got Alien Nation, Serenity, and the Terminator will be in the poll. And then we've got Guardians of the Galaxy to celebrate our friend Sam's birthday. And then we're going into Jolly June Pride Month.
All right. This is why I have to get Alice in Queerland done for Pride Month.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Oh, I thought it was done. It's not done? Oh, okay.
No, it is pretty much done. I just need to make it into an act. Well, it's pretty much done. I just haven't. I'm dawdling, Jennifer.
Oh.
I'm dawdling. I have to feel like there's a reason that I'm dawdling. There's gonna be something that's gonna hit me.
You don't strike me as a dawdler. I think you're setting other shit up. That will always be there.
This is my process where I bang out a bunch of shit. I have a whole bunch of half-done shit right now, and now I just need to give it a moment because I put too much energy into it and I have none left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, so I'm like, okay, you just need to just sit, just fucking wait. Just wait. I'm gonna come back and get you, but you need to wait.
Yeah, I'm having the same problem with my werewolf book. It's unfinished, which is by now I should have had it to beta readers, and it's like I can't face the ending of this book right now. I can't.
Yeah, creativity is a process, and like sometimes you just have to let the process play out. Because if you try to force it, it's going to be less good.
Oh yeah. It's okay to like force yourself enough just to get the idea down so that you don't forget.
Yeah.
But after that, like come back when you're feeling nurtured, that you can enough to nurture the story.
Especially if you have multiple projects going and you can go do something else, just go do something else. Just you're not being unproductive, just go do something else. Come back to it. It's going to be fine.
Yep. Totally.
Trust the audience is on your ride with you. It's fine.
I also I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Mac B.
Yeah.
He is doing Godira, the 3-headed monster for Max Monster May Madness. Next Monday. We watched Godzilla last night, the original 1954 movie. I did not realize how, like, I hadn't seen it, so I didn't realize how serious it was. It's actually a quality film. It's really good.
It's a good movie.
No idea. I think because I've seen other Godzilla movies and it was like, but this one was very good. I was impressed. I enjoyed it a lot.
Man. Well, that's cool. Well, will everyone go and vote in the Discord poll for the movie night and pick out which one you want? And if you don't vote, you don't get to complain.
Yep.
And make sure you check out Mac B's movie night on Mondays. Jennifer, do you want to see what I'm knitting?
What are you knitting?
I'm knitting a shawl, and it's black and white, and I'm starting with a spiral in the middle that has an optical illusion. And now I'm doing some chevrons on the side. And that's what I'm working on right now. And I don't really know where it goes from here, but I thought you might appreciate that. And Judy sent me the yarn for my birthday.
Aw, thanks, Judy.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice.
It's actually really nice. It's like black and white, and she sent me one with a red accent.
Oh.
That I'm going to incorporate into a border.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, but doesn't that look cool? I'm super proud of my black and white.
That is, it's got kind of that infinity illusion, you know?
It does. Yep.
That's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun.
Very Twilight Zone. It's the Twilight Zone shawl.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's all we have for this week. So next week, Jennifer gets to pick something out several days ahead of time and stress over it and preview everything to make sure it's good and, show up completely prepared and
never making any mistakes ever.
Never totally making any mistakes. Yeah, on time. Everything's all set.
Mine's actually straight now.
Oh, that's good. You fixed that.
Yeah, because I'm actually using my little stitch counters. So I'm very proud of that.
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's all we have for this week. Jennifer and I do DISENRAGE every Tuesday at 9 p.m. So come back and join us next week. And I will be back streaming tomorrow at 5 p.m. where we will watch communism. Fun times.
I've been trying to catch you because I'm cleaning my house. But this week is I'll get the house cleaned up
We're
So
watching
a lot of you.
We're watching the Denver Communists tomorrow, Jennifer. You should especially
Another reason why I am leaving this fucking state.
It's going to be great. Come listen to the Denver Communists. They're going to talk about Trump being a fascist or something. And it's going to...
They just passed a law that if you work for a company that has a union, but you don't want to join the union because it's not obligatory.
You still have to join the union.
You still have to pay the dues. You don't have to join the union, but you still have to pay the dues.
What the fuck?
Now, back in the day, about 20-ish years ago, my father was working at the unemployment office, working at that government building, and they were trying to do this. And it was called Colorado Wins. And they're trying to pass this thing where everybody has to pay the dues. And so he started an organization called Colorado Loses and infiltrated their meetings and tried to, like, he just kind of like undercover, but they caught him every time. He got escorted out by security. Also, my dad was a rebel, dude. Yeah, he tried fighting it, but they finally got it passed. It took him this long, but they finally got it through. So now, yeah. So
Stupid
see ya.
Unions. All unions are socialist.
Yeah, and they don't do anything well anymore.
Nope, they do nothing. All right, well, we will deal with communists tomorrow, and tonight we will relax and knit and crochet and stuff. So thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate you. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.